Welcome back, everybody, to another session spotlight for Podstock 2018. We are in session today with Brian McDavitt and Jackie Pickett.
Hey!
Brian works as an instructional coach, grades 1 through 6, like the littles, in Hickman Mills, Missouri. And Jackie, his partner in crime and education, works as a K-8 instructional coach in Leawood, Kansas.
Thanks for having us.
So you guys are running a 3-hour-long session all about PBL, project-based learning, problem-based, passion-based learning, where folks are going to get to learn, share, and then build something that they can take back and use in their classrooms, their schools, communities to improve learning for kids.
Yes, correct.
What gets you excited about PBL for K-12 schools, educators, and students?
I think a lot of it is just the possibilities it brings and the creativity it gives you as a teacher, and the creativity allows your students. You can really do whatever you want with PBL. It's such an open source of education.
I also love that it could pack a lot of content, a lot of standards into a PBL within that design. You can get a lot of cross-curricular content, and you can get a lot of bang through your buck when you use that model, that PBL style.
And it brings home the 4 C's that we hear so much about and we hear a lot about. But it brings all those, like the critical thinking especially. It allows students to be creative thinkers and be creative with a purpose. So you're being creative, but you're being creative to some sort of ends. And coming up with a product or a presentation or whatever it might be.
Tell us about some of the ideas that you're going to have, that what people could take away as an outcome of the learning in the session.
Well, in some of our preliminary discussions, we've talked about how we can tie in maker education, civic engagement, and PBL all together, and how you can achieve a balance with those. But also, we know that PBL has to fit into school, especially where we're at the elementary level. It has to fit into school. You have to cover those standards, especially with the littles. So one thing we have is maybe we would like for people to take away is some sort of plan on how can you hit standards, but also grab in PBL and makerspace and STEAM and civic engagement.
Really hope just to find that balance that kind of, we don't want to swing too far in one direction, but we also don't want to swing too far in the other. So just how can we make sure that the PBL is going to be equalized and helpful for all the students and teachers that are going to be involved.
And as part of our facilitation, we've integrated PBL into our classrooms before we were instructional coaches, so you can have a chance to learn from some of our mistakes.
Right.
And we can be that voice of reason and voice of experience in some of those areas too.
I think hopefully we can also kind of take what we do in our respective schools, and we do a lot of instructional coaching with our teachers and PBLs, and so hopefully we can kind of support our participants in creating and designing their own PBL to take back to school with them.
You both are working now in the elementary level. If I taught high school, would this be useful for me to put in session?
Oh, I think so, yeah. I think the model of PBL is very cross-curricular as far as grade levels and can fit to any content level as well.
Absolutely.
And a conversation I would love to have with someone in the secondary high school level is how can we rethink what high school looks like to make this actually work and be more cross-curricular.
Which I think is something I've worked with a little bit this year in my middle school background. So I've kind of seen that struggle between, specific content and how we can bridge the gap and, get everybody kind of piggybacking on each other's ideas.
Don't miss Podstock 2018. It is our 10th birthday, and we're all about reflecting, responding, and redesigning. So be sure to reserve your spot for July 18 through 20 by going to podstock.sdac.org.
See you later.
Thank you. See you there.